Welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It has been quite a while since you have heard my voice, I'm sure, but I hope you are all having a wonderful day. Also, I hope that it hasn't been a while since you've heard my voice. I've got like 800 videos on the channel. If you're only keeping up to date with my Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff, that's fair. I think I've got like a collection of like 70 Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos though. This video is a part of a playlist. You can check that out. Or I have Let's Plays that I make, because that's actually what I really enjoy doing, is making Let's Plays. So go check those out as well if you're looking for other content. The reason I say this is because, as you can tell, for those of you who click the video page on my channel, you'll see videos have been sparse. Scarce? Sparse. Sparse and scarce. Those are the two words. Correct. Not sparse and scarce. That's the one. It's been a while. There's been a lot of stuff happening in real life that have prevented me from making videos, and that really sucks. But I have this one for you today, where I'm finally able to talk again. I don't know when the last time I recorded a video I spoke in was, but I like this deck. This deck is based on the video game Xenoblade Chronicles 2. A little bit of Xenoblade 1 from what I understand about it. Not really much of Xenoblade 1 at all. It's based on Xenoblade Chronicles. It's just Xenoblade 2. For those of you who don't know what Xenoblade Chronicles is, holy shit, you are missing out. The Xenoblade Chronicles series is an amazing RPG series, but you're not here for that. What you're here for is some Yu-Gi-Oh! Replays. Each of these cards represents a different weapon in-game, sort of. The game features humanoid weapons, basically, but they're also like fully alive and conscious, and so some of the weapons that the artifact cards are very similar to some of those weapons in-game. We have this, which would be Mithra. We have this, which would be Pyra. Pyra is a character on my channel banner. I love Pyra. Pyra's a good... I like Pyra. I smile. Yeah. We have this, which looks similar to a weapon in-game. Kind of. Not really, because it's meant to be like a fist thing and not a giant gun. Which is what I pretend it looks like. We have Artifact Lanzia, because it's just a good fucking card. Chakrams, because Chakrams are a weapon in-game. A Scythe is for Telos, which is a blade in the game. Caduceus, which... I mean, it's just a good card, actually. Artifact Caduceus is legitimately just a really good card if I can get this to go off. Labris, again, also a really good card. Special summon from hand when an artifact is destroyed. I did run this at 2 for a little bit, but I put it down to 1 just because I figured it'd be easier to run Vajra at 3. And then Aegis, which, I mean, the whole point of the game is that the Aegis blade exists, so even though there's a shield here, Aegis is just had to be put in because of the name. Then Fail Not. The other thing that's going on here is we have Laojieth, which is also based on a different blade, Gamma Seal based on the Titan Uriah, Jizukuru, which is based on some endgame spoiler content, so I'm not going to talk about it. The invocation stuff in here, you might have noticed Aliester, or Alistair, I don't actually know how you say their name. There's a card called Crowley, the Magister's Babada. That card looks like Adenine. This is Crowley, so I figured I just put it in. Adenine is one of my favorite blades from the game. I know it just sounds like I'm rambling, but legitimately, this deck was well thought out in my... I could get rid of Celeste. That's for future stuff. That is in the deck, but just don't worry about that. Super Poly in here for a Venom Fusion Dragon thing as well, because I'm running Invoker. It's actually not a bad card. If my opponent were to activate some nonsense, I could Super Poly in response. However, with the extra deck, we actually have this one card. That's kind of it. Invoked Elysium. Yeah, if you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'm not going to talk about why this card needed to be in the deck, but this is like the whole thing in the game is, we couldn't make it to Elysium! And I love the game, and so it had to go in. Silent Honor Dark, again, endgame content looking shit, and then Artifact Jurndal is just the Xyz for Jurndal, so kind of makes sense. Divarian Arsenal Zeus, just a good Xyz to go into if I can. Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon, another monster that's just in because it should be. Artifact Dogda, 2 Magistus, Moon Maiden. Yeah, it's not actually a bad deck. Maxi also is a very Xenoblade Chronicles card. See, in Xenoblade Chronicles, there's this thing called Gacha, where you have to pull for the blades that you want by getting core crystals. And so Maxi is representing the same thing. And by that, I mean I am bullshitting, and Maxi is the only reason this deck actually works, as with any form of non-meta deck. The reason that it is capable against putting against other shit is because Maxi puts pressure on your opponent to respond to that specific thing, which is cool. So that being said, let's go over some replays now. Dura Monster Card. This is, if I don't get Ash Blossomed, a really good starting hand. We have Jizukuru, which means that next turn I can get rid of my opponent's stuff. We have Magical Meltdown, which is a 1-card combo to add Aliester, to add Invocation, to Fusion Summon into Mechaba. We have Valencia, which is good if my opponent's playing Kashtira, which is really prevalent right now. Unfortunately, please, for the love of God, ban Fenrir. Fenrir is a card that should not be in the game. Fenrir, people will say, you can't ban Fenrir. It needs to be banned. It actually needs to be. You could limit every cash card and still be an amazing deck because Fenrir's in the game. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to rant about that. Labris and then Maxi. This was my first game playing this deck again, so I legitimately forgot how it worked. Activate Magical Meltdown to add Alistair to hand, then I activate Alistair's effect to add Invocation. What you would do here is link Alistair off into Celine, so that way you could use Alistair and the light Celine to go into Mechaba. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that, and so I just used Jizukiru, which really did me bad, actually. Then I use Invocation effect to shuffle Invocation back to deck to add Alistair from Banish to hand. And then Mechaba is an Omni Negate when your opponent activates a spell, card, trap card, monster effect, whatever, which is cool because it's a when effect, so it's an immediate response, other than other if effects and stuff like that. This card means that you discard one card of the same type. I only have monsters in hand, but they don't know that. They know I have a monster effect negate in hand with Alistair. So that's cool. You can negate the effect, or actually negate the activation and then destroy that thing. So it's quite nice. They immediately activate Neo's Fusion, which means I immediately activate Max C. I hate the art on Neo's Fusion. Aqua Dolphin from Straight On is so horrifying. I summon Brave Neo, so actually has a fair bit of damage on me. Activate the field spell, give it more damage. Go for an attack. I activate Alistair the Invoker to discard to target a fusion monster, give it 1000 attack. This card doesn't get destroyed because he banishes his Neo's Fusion instead, which is really annoying. I don't know what was happening here, but he set to activated emergency call, which I feel like they should have done first, because then they could have just added Honest Neos to hand. But I guess they didn't know what Alistair stuff did, so I guess that's completely fair, realistically. Another Magical Meltdown, not a good draw, but I activated anyways to add Invocation back to hand. Or add Alistair the Invoker to hand, normal Alistair to add Invocation. Link Alistair off into Celine properly this time. Artemis, sorry, not Celine. Then I can fusion summon this way, going into a second Mechaba, which might seem weird, but realistically, I think it was the best play that I could have made there. I don't think going into Dogda would have done anything for me, although maybe going into Dogda, then summoning Alguadius would have been a good idea? Not sure. I get Alistair back to hand, which I'm going to use for Battle Phase. I declare attack. I was going to use Alistair the Invoker effect, but he uses Battle Guard Howling, which returns this back to the deck. So extra deck, and I take damage that they would have taken instead. Go for an attack here, discarding Alistair, targeting, activating Honest Neos in hand, which I already knew about. This card gains attack for each warrior or Neo Space Hero hero monster in graveyard. So in response, I activate Neos effect, banishing Lancia because their deck doesn't banish, aside from like normal hero stuff. Then they activate Favorite Contact. Ah, shit. Yep. Activate Maxi in response to draw one card. Go for Chain 5 here, which, I mean, cool. You know, they do get a really good monster out here, and I do get the 3500 attack. But I ain't read. We all know that I don't read. This was not a good card to draw into. I removed this, but it wasn't there because this was like another thing relating to Elysium. Was returned, then this card is targeted for an attack. Make its attack double until the end of the damage step. Shit. Well, damn. Main phase 2? I would Jizukiru here if I had it. Yeah, I fucked up. I done fucked up. Normal summons Ocean. Summons Brave Neos back out. And then it's just attack for game. If they destroyed this, it would special summon itself. It wouldn't do anything else. But it was a fun first game. It was also cool, like, getting to learn the deck again, because I had not played it in so long. Look at that starting hand. Jizukiru, Ignition, Moral Attack, Beagle Attack, and Alistair the Invoker. Holy shit, that's a good fucking opening hand. Normal Alistair, bait out an Ash Blossom to add Invocation. Link him off into Artemis as I should this time. Then activate Invocation to get out Mechaba. Boom. Weird animation, I've never understood what the hell is going on with that card. Activate Invocation, return Alistair to hand, shuffle Invocation back into the deck. I'm fairly confident I set both of these cards. I actually set all three, which is cool. So they know I have a monster effect negate, then an unknown card in hand, which could be a hand trap of any sort. So that's pretty cool. My opponent starts off into the void, draw one card, discard whole hand during end phase. Activates Reasoning. I figure they're probably playing some nonsense of like Exodia, so let me go with level 1s. If they're not playing Exodia because of the mat here, or on the mat, the sleeves here, they're also probably playing Blue Eyes, and if they draw into Whitestone of Legend, that's fine, because I can get rid of that as well. So activate Whitestone of Legend effect, and they get Mizuki. Which, unfortunate, but then they do perform a Popper Upper. I didn't read this card. I'll read this card right now. Set up the 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard. Draw that many cards. Then you can special summon. I thought it said then special summon. I thought it said then special summon, but it's okay. So I activate Artifact Ignition, and I pop Beagle Tack, setting Scythe. I set Scythe because I saw they were playing Mayakashis. Now, if you don't know what Mayakashi is, it's a giant synchro ladder with a really cool Link secondary thing. All of it comes based off of one card, which is Daki, the Graceful Mayakashi. I played against it several times, against Dakota actually. It's one of his favorite decks, but it's a very fun deck to play against, and also it's a very simple deck to play against. Artifact Scythe as chain 1 to special summon itself, and Moral Attack as chain 2 to special summon itself. So if it's a wind effect, then they can't negate it. Summon both. Scythe will be chain 1, Moral Attack will be chain 2 to pop the Mizuki. Scythe locks them out of their extra deck for the turn. Scythe is currently banned in the TCG and I believe OCG, and I think that's fair. I also think Artifact Scythe should be reworked to be like a dimensional barrier. On summon, you declare one summon type, or one extra deck card type, so Synchro, Fusion, Xyz, Link. For the rest of your turn, your opponent cannot special summon monsters of that declared type from the extra deck. It's not broken. It's still broken, but it's not as broken as purely locking them out of the extra deck. And if your opponent's playing extra stuff in the extra deck, which you should, realistically, you should always be playing at least 2 type of cards in the extra deck, unless you're playing pure Synchro Ladder or some nonsense like that. Like Dragon Link plays Synchros and Links, Branded plays Fusions. I think they do play Dissipator and normal Branded now as well because of Assault, Synchron, and the Bestials. That's the other thing in that as well. They play Chaos Angel as well, so it's like there's a lot of stuff you can do with these decks, where it's like Artifact Scythe isn't as impactful as it once was, were it to be a dimensional barrier card like that. Which I think it should be. I think that'd be sick, because I want Artifact Scythe to come back so I can actually play this deck in real life, because it's fortunately not that expensive. They add Mayakashi Return, dumping one to deck, or from deck to graveyard, banishing that to special Soul Absorbing Bone Tower, Ghost Meets Girl, returning the banished monster back to the grave. Which, I mean, is Mizuki a once per turn? Because it's not a once per turn. That's actually a smart idea. I don't even know if they did that, but that's not a bad idea. Normal summon Hajun, Hajun special summons. This is the card right here. This is like, obviously it's a really cool card art as well, but it's the whole reason the deck works, because it special summons itself. Whenever a Mayakashi monster is special summoned from the extra deck, you special summon this back. Every monster you special summon is a Mayakashi monster, so it's just good. But because they can't go into extra deck at all this turn, they kind of just have to pass their turn. Soul Absorbing will send top 3 to grave, which is cool, because we got the Mechanist Sword from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which is no longer in there now. But it is what it is. I negate that effect, just that way that doesn't come back. Then end phase, obviously they can't summon anything. They have to discard their hand with Into the Void, so it is what it is. Drop for turn, get to Loudji. Loudji special summons whenever a fairy monster on effect on the field is activated, so it's cool. Or is it one destroyed? I actually don't recall. Yeah, special summon from hand when a fairy monster effect is activated. Activate Invocation using Alistair and Jizukuru to summon out Mechabatu. Electric Mechabalu? I don't know. I don't really know. Alistair effect, return back to hand. Battle phase. Attack into Hajun. Attack into Daki. Attack into Soul Absorbing. And attack for game with Artifact Scythe. Telos is a very good damage dealer in games. It's a cool way to end it off. But I feel bad with Artifact Scythe because against Mayakashis it's a bit easy. Dude, garbage hando! Luckily, as with Magical Meltdown and Alistair, 1-card combo. Normal summon, activate Magical Meltdown, add Alistair to hand, normal summon Alistair, add Invocation to hand. Is pretty much brain dead. Activate Ash Blossom! Well shit. You got it. I don't know why you wouldn't just Ash the Magical Meltdown, but I mean, I guess it's smarter to Ash Alistair because I could just have had Alistair in hand. Set the 2. What I could have done here, and what I think I should have done, if I should have Monster Reborn the Ash Blossom, gone into Artifact Dagda, and then on my opponent's turn, if they activate a card effect on field, or monster effect, or whatever, I set the artifact card destroy it during the end phase, which probably would have been a much better thing than just ending on Alistair and 2 artifacts set. They're playing Cash. What do you do against Cash? Kashtira Birth, Kashtira Fenrir, those cards are too powerful. Birth should be at 1, and Fenrir should be banned. Because Fenrir is played in other decks, because Fenrir can solo decks. Red Rose, what do you think this is going into? I'll give you 3 seconds. Is it Baron de Fleur? It's Baron de Fleur! That wasn't 3 seconds. But I mean, hey, Baron de Fleur. Broken card should also be banned. Red Rose special summons Rocks Rose from hand. Rocks Rose adds a card that mentions Black Rose, adding Basil Rose Shoot back to hand. To activate the effect of Birth, special summon Unicorn from graveyard. Synchro once again. I bet you can't guess what they're summoning into. Is it Chaos Angel or Changing? It's Changing! Because of course it is. Because you can't summon Long Yuan there. Summon Ascended of Thunder from hand. Holy fuck, dude just had the perfect opening hand. Like, what is that? What do I do against that? Nothing. That's what I do. Activates Basil Rose Shoot special summoning Rocks Rose back out. Synchros this time. What Synchro 10 are they summoning? I bet you can never fucking guess. That's right. It's not paused. There it is. That's right. It's this card right here. Chaos Angel! Whoa! Look at this opening hand. Targeting a card on the field to banish it. Banishes my Moral Tag. Activates the effect of her own. Destroy my Alistair. Well, shit. What do I even do? He could have also used Changing effect, mind you. He could have used Changing upon activating Chaos Angel effect to banish. Then Changing could have banished... I mean, actually, there wasn't one in my graveyard. That's one on field and graveyard. Never mind. Ha! Fuck you, salad. Idiot. You thought there was a card in my graveyard? No Changing effect for you. That does hurt, though. Why did I get hit with 3 level 10 Synchros in 1 turn? Why the... Dakota, I know you're probably going to build that shit because you are already a bastard. What the fuck did I play against here? Like, how frequently does that happen to someone? That they get Baroned, Changing, and Chaos Angeled in 1 turn. He had Rocks Rose and Red Rose and Unicorn and Birth and Ascended in hand. Whatever the fuck this last card was, I can't even pretend. Oh, he also had Ash in hand. So he had just 3 Synchro Monster OTK in hand and Ash Blossom. What do I do against that? That's probably a fucking called by in hand, realistically. I don't understand. What an opening hand. Holy shit. Double Invocation? I'm not joking, by the way. This is... Okay, so... Oh, not double Invocation's a good opening hand. If I had Invocation and Alistair in hand, that's an amazing opening hand. Because if I don't get Ash Blossom, I'm getting Mecha out. If I get Ash Blossom, then it's fine because I still have the Invocation in hand. But if I... It's just a good opening hand. Getting multiple fucking Invocations is actually not a bad thing. Getting multiple Artifact Ignitions, also not necessarily a bad thing, because it's not a once per turn, and it's a on-field destruction effect to set an Artifact monster, which means I can use this, then on my opponent's turn, I can activate Artifact Scythe. My opponent over here, running 15 card extra deck, activating Pepper Brights, and we all know what that means when you activate Pepper Brights, you're adding Illusion of Chaos from deck to hand. Illusion of Chaos effect? I wonder what they're going to do. Dark Magical Circle in hand, activating Dark Magical Circle, activating Soul Servant to place a card on top of deck. I don't know why people do this. This is such a weird thing to me. Because, like, you're not chain blocking by doing this. So you could just put Soul Servant first and then activate Dark Magical Circle. Because this doesn't protect this. Because this is a quick play spell, so your opponent has a response first. So I don't understand why he changed this here instead of activating this first and then Dark Magical Circle. He did just activate Illusion Magic, which adds 2 Dark Magicians to hand, which is fucking weird. I've never in my life seen people use this card. But it tributes Magician's Rod to add 2 Dark Magicians to hand, and I guess that's not a bad thing? Like, I definitely see the use in that. But it just seemed weird. Then activating Magician's Salvation to set Eternal Soul, which makes sense for the add now. Which is good. So that's one last card, which is real damn good. I go to draw phase, draw my 3rd invocation. I don't draw well. This is a true statement. I went in locals. I've been playing Infernoble. I'm not a fan of the new Infernoble stuff. I really don't like it that much. It's a bit too consistent for me. And I say this. I think that the deck is a bit too consistent because it is. Legitimately, it is. If I don't get hit on a sold, I have pretty much full combo. The last time that I went to my local scene, you can ask Dakota about this. I drew for the first 2 games that I played because I got to buy game 2. So for the first game that I played, which was against Dakota, I drew 4 1-ofs in the deck. Game 2, I drew 3 1-ofs in the deck. Game 3, because I think I won game 2. Did I win game 2? No, I think Dakota actually just won. Hold on, I don't remember. Fuck, I remember we played a 3rd one though, and I drew 3 1-ofs once again. Then I fought a different player, and in that game, game 1, 4 1-ofs. Game 2, 4 1-ofs, but I did clutch up game 2, so I was okay with that. I didn't win, but I came back from 4 1-ofs in hand. Holy shit, the deck has been disrespecting me. I don't draw well. God is not on my side. I target Eternal Flow to pop it. I had to push this. I had to make this replay have some filler. I mean, fuck, man. I activated Artifact Ignition to pop Eternal Soul. Bro was out. Bro was not having it. I mean, what are they going to do? The Dark Magician, their whole strategy's just gone. I have no idea what the last card being set was, but I had a second Artifact Ignition, so I just used it in response to whatever they played. Oh no, they have the Madolche Field, and you know what that means? It means they're a pedophile! That's not a good opening hand. I mean, it's not bad. Activate Magical Meltdown to add Alistair to hand. Almost an Alistair to add Invocation. But it's not particularly good, because I have Moral Attack and Lancia, and then Shao Di, which I also took out. He was supposed to be in replacement of Percival, which is one of my favorite blades from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Activate Invocation to summon Mechaba. It is what it is. Bam! They definitely did just happen to open like the best opening hand in the world. They activate Invocation, return Alistair to hand, and then I set Moral Attack and pass. My opponent here is going to show you why I hate people, why I despise the human race. Lightning Storm. No spell in hand. Well, bye-bye Mechaba, no Omni Negate for me. Called by the Grave, targeting Mechaba. I chain Lancia. Why the fuck are you targeting Mechaba? He doesn't do anything. So I activate Lancia. And you know what they have? It's not a called by. It's not a called by. But they had a second fucking banish effect. So they got rid of Mechaba regardless. No Monster Reborn for me were I to have it. They activate Engage. Adding Mobilize. Shit. Normal's Ray. Battle Phase. Attack. Quick Effective Ray. Tribute. Special Summon a Sky Striker Ace Monster from extra deck. Attack. Watch this shit. Watch what fucking happens here. Effect sends a Sky Striker card from deck to graveyard. Immobilize. We already knew he had to mobilize. Tributes. Special summons this. Or sends special summons Kagari. Kagari damage. Attacks. Oh no, he adds mobilize back to hand. That's what it is. Then he attacks. Punch me in the mouth. Thanks, I appreciate it. Mobilize. Attack. Mobilize. Attack. Leave me alone. Activates Kane. Now, mobilize too. What the fuck is this? I've never, ever been OTK'd by Sky Striker in my life. And the fact that I now have hurts me on such a deep fucking level. Because he had Lightning Storm. And that's it. If he had activated Ray Effect, I would have just said no with Mechaba. But Lightning Storm and Called By. If I had a single spell, I don't have that many spells in this deck. But these are not. What? Why? Why did I get OTK'd by Sky Striker of all things? Of everything in this game, I got hit with a fucking Sky Striker OTK where he just attacked me with one monster and traded it, and then attacked me and then traded it, and that shit hurts my pride. Well, with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you've all had a wonderful day. And if you haven't, there's always the rest of your day. There's always tomorrow, the day after that, and so on and so forth. I'll see you guys next time. So until then, take care of yourselves, everybody. Bye-bye.